Okay, so welcome back. We're about ready for the final video to have our shelf, or almost the final video to have our shelf ready. We're going to be done with all of our drawing. What we're looking to do now is we're looking to create this um, cutout right here. And if you notice, it has, I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. It has these little cutouts here. Those are relief cuts to allow our router bit to allow for sharp corners. So I call them Mickey Mouse ears. Sometimes they're called dog bone corners. Um, for this intensive purposes, I'm going to call them Mickey Mouse ears. So I'm going to go back into Fusion. All right. I'm going to make sure that I have my shelf component active. All right. And you can kind of see there's my original sketch. That's my first rectangle. That's my opening for the center hole cutout, and that's the cutout for the feet. So I can actually change these names if I wanted to. Um, so I'm going to call this the main body. My sketch 2 is going to be the hole. All right, sketch 3 is going to be the feet. Okay, so it just makes it easier so that if I need to go in and make any changes, I can easily open up that sketch. If I wanted to change the feet, I can right click on it and go edit sketch. And you can see it'll bring me in, and it would actually allow me to make some editing features here. So I'm not going to be making any changes to it right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to create that cutout down here at the bottom. So just like for our other two, I'm going to start a new sketch. I'm going to click on that front face. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's going to make it a little bit easier because this is all I need to see here. So if I look back at my plans, I can see that this is 1 inch by 1 inch. So that's how it's going to start. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to click and drag out and type in 1 and 1. So it's a 1 by 1 square, and I'm going to click enter. All right, and just like what I did for my feet, I'm going to use that midpoint. All right, so again, under constraints, I'm going to click on midpoint, and I'm going to align the midpoint of this line to the midpoint of this line. You can see it's going to lock those two together. Okay, so now that I've got my rectangle or my square where it needs to be, and I know that it's centered, because if I do the math, it'd be 1 inch here. 1 inch here would be left with 1 inch, which would be 3 inches across. So now I'm going to work on creating these Mickey Mouse ears. So I'll show you how I've done it. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. All right, it's just going to make life a little bit easier. Press escape to exit out of that midpoint tool. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to start by grabbing the line tool. All right, I'm going to click in the corner here. Make sure that it locks to that corner. I'm going to drag out a line. All right, and I'm going to make it 0.06 long. And now I also need to set up my angle. So I'm going to click tab. I'm going to make my angle 45 degrees. And I'm going to click enter. All right, so you can see what that did was that created this little line here. That end of that line is going to represent the midpoint or the center of the circle that I'm going to draw to create those Mickey Mouse ears. All right, so I'm going to grab my center diameter circle tool. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click on the center of that, the end point of that. I'm going to drag this out, and I'm going to type in 0.125 for the diameter of my circle, and I'm going to press enter. Okay, So now that I've got that drawn out, I need to repeat that process, or I can repeat that process over here to create that same kind of Mickey Mouse ear effect on this end. But there's actually an easier way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my line tool. I'm going to come over here, and this should lock to that midpoint. See how that little triangle shows up? I'm going to click. I'm going to drag this down, make sure I just draw a 90-degree line. Does not matter how long it is. All right, and I'm going to click. All right, and press escape to exit out. So now I can go up here to my mirror tool. Okay, I can select that. First thing I want to do is select my objects. So I'm going to select the circle. Then I'm going to click over here and mirror line. So you can see why I drew out that center line. And I'm going to click on that. You can see it's going to mirror that circle right over to the other side. And then I click OK. So now I've got my square and my two Mickey Mouse ears. All right. So I can come through and I can trim this if I wanted, but it's not necessary. So from here I can go ahead and click Finish Sketch. Okay. And now I want to go ahead and I want to do some extruding. So I click on Extrude. Okay. I want to select the square and the inside, complete inside of the entire circle. So you can kind of see what's selected here. And just like what we did with our other parts, for extent type, I go distance to object, highlight my entire model. I click on that, and it should cut all the way through. I click OK, and now you can see that I've got my overall shape of my shelf. So in the next video, the final video for the shelf, I'm going to go over how we're going to create all of these roundovers or fillets that are all around here. So stay tuned for the next one.